Amelia Island Plantation leaves a lasting impression on everyone who comes here. Its wide ocean beaches, glorious tidal marshes, and enveloping live oak canopy combine for a natural beauty that's difficult to find anywhere else. Originally designed by well-known landscape architect Ian McHarg in 1971, Amelia Island Plantation was one of the first sustainable resort and residential communities of its kind. It's that beauty and preservation of the natural environment that attracted many of us to this very special place.
We fell in love with really the just unsurpassed beauty of this place, inviting for walks or enjoying the water. And then you have the marsh, which I had never appreciated before, the sort of change of colors in the seasons and the egrets sweeping through them. It's just extraordinary.
Our first impression here is, wow, what a beautiful site. What a unique piece of property. This is spectacular. In that first visit, we purchased property.
Amelia Island to me is the quintessential Southern charm. I think that the quality of life, the beaches, the sunrises and the sunsets, it's almost like a trifecta.
I'm not sure that I was drawn to Amelia Island or Amelia Island chooses its inhabitants. I think the beauty of the island and the friendliness of the people we found here and the whole package, I think it picks us.
We recently celebrated the 40th anniversary of the plantation. 4 decades is a long time for any community to remain vital and attractive to new residents. In an effort to ensure many more decades of economic and natural sustainability, we created a Community Revitalization Task Force and retained the landscape architects and planners of Marquis Hallback to help us plan for the future.
Whatever we do has to be done in a way that it preserves this natural setting. But at the same time, we have to recognize that tastes change, people change, cultures change, and we are perceiving and seeing as we visit other communities that today's generation is responding in different ways.
This is an iconic master plan that every landscape architect knows. It's Ian McHarg, Design with Nature, and so the opportunity to come into this established, built-out community that has 40 years of this amazing legacy and look forward 40 years is really just an awesome opportunity.
I think most important is that by hiring Marquis Hallback, we bring in another set of eyes. And I think when we're looking for people who are interested in possibly buying a place here or even visiting here, you want to have a place that always looks fresh and always looks updated.
Our trails and multi-use pathways serve as the connectors of the community. They provide quick, easy access to our recreational and natural amenities, while offering opportunities for hikers and bikers to exercise as they enjoy the glorious surroundings. These trails were a central feature of the original master plan, but the original trail system was not expanded as the community grew.
I think the main opportunity is to improve connectivity. As we've been developed, we've become very linear with paths going either north or south. Not a lot of crossover east to west, but I see for a lot of reasons just to be able to expand those trails and connect them so that you really don't need to get in your car.
Number one is, how do I get somewhere? Where can I find Walker's Landing or Drummond Point Park? Those are absolutely beautiful locations and we want to send our guests and residents to those, but the opportunity to find them isn't always the easiest.
The beach is probably the number one amenity that draws people here. And if you come here, then it's very important that people have access to it. And it's not always easy for people that don't live on the beach or right across the street from the beach to have access to it.
And so when you look at the overall trail network, there's a variety of dead ends. They don't go anywhere. And it's not only frustrating for homeowners, it's confusing for the amount of visitors that Amelia Island Plantation has. And so one of the great opportunities that we have is to improve loops, connections, so that when you get onto a trail that you don't just go down to a dead end and then turn around, it would actually loop you around and take you to other places.
Our Our abundant tidal creeks and the Intercoastal Waterway offer unrivaled opportunities for kayaks and paddleboards, two of the fastest growing and most popular ways to enjoy the water. But the current kayak launch area, located at Walker's Landing, is designed for boats and boat trailers.
I've used a launch, both for a boat and for kayaks. And it needs some improvements if it's going to be determined that we want to make that more of a kayak facility than a boat launching facility.
I think it would be really cool if we could have a kayak facility and organization perhaps, where a kayak trip or outing could be planned and we could share kayaks and all get together and do something really nice. I think that's something that people would embrace here.
Walker's Landing currently is a concrete ramp and it's got oysters growing in the vicinity, so it's tough to use. It tears up the boats, it can tear up your feet, and nobody wants to get cut on the oyster shells. What they're doing really around the southeast for kayak launches is using a natural surface launch, either a fine gravel or a sand launch, going down 1 or 2 feet below the tide line, so it's very comfortable to launch. It's stable for putting the boat in and out, and people are very happy with that.
A vibrant community living room, a place where residents can gather for meetings and social and fitness activities, is an essential requirement, both for current and prospective residents of our community.
I think we need a general gathering spot. What we have are disparate ones right now.
I think it needs to be a place of comfort where people can have a range of activities from, say, buying a newspaper in the morning with a cup of coffee, through exercise, through meeting spaces during the day. I think it should be limited only by the interests of the residents here.
People can, even if there's not something specific they're looking to attend, they can go there and know that there'll be other folks around. Maybe a place to get coffee, meet up with your neighbors and friends, find out what's happening.
The fitness center is an amenity that's way at the top of what's important to people.
The fitness center is simply inadequate in an aesthetic fashion. The building itself is showing a great deal of wear and tear and deterioration. The equipment is outmoded.
It is very, very important that we try to figure it out over the next short term, because people who come here look at it, and it's part of the decision process, is tell me about the fitness center, let me see the fitness center.
Golf is at the backbone of this community, and it was central to what brought a lot of people here. Today, younger people are drawn to different activities. Some are still drawn to golf and will love it in the same way, but others want different kinds of fitness and outdoor activities. So we need to understand those things, and as a community we need to evaluate how we can do them and integrate them into this beautiful place.
Your community association and the team of landscape architects at Marquis Hallback have been visiting peer communities, gathering data, and inviting feedback from residents throughout the fall of 2014. Concepts are currently in development, and the team will be presenting these ideas to the Revitalization Task Force, the Amelia Island Club, the Omni Resort, the AIPCA Board, and the community at large in the late spring of this year. This important study will hopefully provide a foundation for many more generations to enjoy the unique place we call home.
It's a value proposition, you know. What is the total elements of the value proposition that you're offering? And are they of value to me as a potential buyer of the next generation of buyers?
Revitalize is essentially bringing some new energy into not just the community, but essentially exhibiting an energy outwards towards buyers. And we hope that this plan will kickstart this consideration from both the club standpoint and Omni, as well as the community association, the need to refresh ourselves, if only to preserve our property values, or actually to increase them, to recover what we've lost in the past.
Well, I believe that if all three attributes from the community, the club, the resort, and the community, work in harmony with each other, there won't be any issues in trying to build something that is needed to make our community better.
Some of these improvements that we're looking at potentially could be done as a joint effort, and I think that's really the best way to go.
I would hope that this process would have other members of the community who are not quite involved in the day-to-day aspects of working with the board or working with the management company. I hope this process helps them understand that there is a need. There is a need to go forward.
We can start an active dialogue with everybody here and talk out people's concerns, find out what people want, need, are willing to help us with, and by us I mean all of the partners. I think this is something that is our responsibility.
It's a thoughtful community, and I think it's a community that really appreciates the specialness of this place here. And I think part of what we have to do as leaders in the community is to make sure that we honor that we persuade, educate, and receive input from the community about what they like and what they don't like. But we have to honor and respect the fact that ultimately they're the decision makers.